Welcome back to another episode of the Backholder Pod. So today, I think it's a topic of concern and it's close to many Tesla investors. Right now in this panel, we have three pretty big Tesla bulls. I'm not too sure whether they're still bullish, but I think that's why in this video, we will basically walk through the thesis and to understand a little bit more about the recent developments. I believe just recently, Tesla announced their delivery numbers, which is short of expectations. Secondly, there was this Reuters article that came out saying that they're abandoning the new or the upcoming cheaper vehicle alternative. Elon Musk made a reply and then he was alluding to something exciting. So I'll pass the time over to Boon Tee to basically run us through the events.
I'm going to borrow from this Kobeisi letters. So basically, it reported that you look at this chart here. I think this is the more important one. So at first, Reuters report that Tesla has cancelled plan for low cost car. Then within like 15 minutes, right, Elon replied on this zero H tweets saying that Reuters is lying again. Then suddenly, right after he responded, right, the share price just shoot back up again. Then after that, I think during the after hours, Tesla also announced that they are going to have the Robo Taxi review on 8th of August. So that's a good date. It looks like. So I think after that the share price shoot up even more. So that's the developments during this week. 3rd of April, so Tesla delivered 386,810 cars. I think the surprising part is not about the numbers. It's more like it is definitely year-over-year growth, negative growth. I think this is really surprising because we always thought that Tesla is a high growth companies, right? Let's say if within one quarter your sales is not growing but drop, right? I think that's really caused a bit of concern among the investors. But in the same reports, right, they also mentioned that the reason why the sales has dropped. So these are the three reasons given: the early phase of production ramp of the updated Model 3 at Fremont factory. And then second one is factory shutdown resulting from shipping diversions caused by the Red Sea conflict. And third one, an arson attack at Gigafactory Berlin. So I think that all these three definitely contributes, but these are mainly one-off kind of event. But I think it is also true that EV market has been slowing down overall because we have also seen that other EV makers, right? Say for example, BYD sales also drop quarter on quarter. So I think again these are the reason people are starting to worry about the investment.
I think maybe based on like portfolio value, right? Like absolute value of the amount of Tesla shares, I think Eric might be the highest here. So Eric, maybe you want to like shed some light. What's your thought process through the delivery numbers and what you look into the outlook for 8th of August as well regarding this FSD announcement?
Unveiling of FSD, right, is basically just that, unveiling. Like they unveiled Cybertruck, right? Like 2019. They only started delivering this year, like the official one. So it's like 5 years kind of a lead time. So if you unveil the Robo Taxi now, lead time 5 years, maybe 2029, then they start driving. Everyone is like very excited on X, obviously, because I think the share price is so bad that they have to get excited over unveiling. Like if it's like a really start to drive already, it start to like beta testing, then I will start to be very excited lah. But now unveiling, the lead time is like minimum is at least 3-4 years minimum. Yeah, because the FSD video, don't know whether you have seen. I have watched the Dave Lee one. So he was driving from Starbucks to Starbucks in US, Texas, and then it seems that it's still a bit rough. Like the car will drive out into a turn in the road, right? And then you will protrude out like from the side. Then the main road people are going straight, then you protrude out into the road. Then he got to intervene and stop the car from going further in. If not, there will be an accident. So these things are not really uncommon, but they are also like, it's not like every road you will have to intervene. But I would say that there's quite a handful of interventions still. So it's not like close, not like it's super close to doing Robo Taxi yet. That's the feel that I get, lor. So I don't know. Like I'm holding Tesla you say absolute value is the most is because Kelvin he's been trimming his shares, right? Yeah,
No,
I
it's
don't know.
trading in and out with options. But I
Trading in
think,
and out or whatever lah.
yeah, but maybe Kelvin, you want to share your perspective on this? Like,
Yeah.
what's your long-term view of this full self-driving and
Let
the
me
recent
just make
news?
a clarification. I didn't trim down the thing. Even though I'm trading in and out, it all counts towards the profit slash loss thing. Overall, my Tesla position has not changed since 2 years ago. It's still the same. So I think for this whole Robo Taxi thing, okay, first thing when I see the US actually like the Waymo is already active in some cities already. Then in China, I think BYD is active in some cities. I also forgot which city. Basically, autopilot, no, it's like AI driving the car is already active in some places. So for robo taxis, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out earlier than we expected. But obviously, we have to cater for the worst case scenario. So the reason I say that is because, like, okay, to the end of 2022, the ChatGPT first launched. When you see this ChatGPT and the time all the image generator also came out, but I think no one foresee that the video text to video would come out as fast as they did. Like, so within 1 year, the video generator is already out, the Sora thing. After this, Tesla they moved their thing to the Dojo with the new NVIDIA chips. Basically, they are already training their new FSD on the new chip, and they rewrote it already. So this new beta thing that's out is entirely written by AI, no longer human intervention kind of thing. No longer written by human, but it's still new human intervention. So I wouldn't be surprised that this FSD will come a lot sooner, because I think a lot of human, me included, would underestimate the exponential growth of the AI. With that being said, I think FSD would come, but the legislation of allowing robo taxis to run everywhere would not be there. But since Waymo and the BYD is already running in some cities, I also think that Tesla can launch in certain cities, but they will just what's it called, geo fence it. So it will run in certain cities, test it there first. Like for example, for NUS, the bus that is running, they'll just let it run around for a few months until you can convince the authorities to let them expand this a lot more.
So can I confirm your position that on the 8th of August, you are optimistic for the review of FSD? Like, you
That's
think
why he
it
said
will move
he's going to
legal?
review. He's going to review that. Yeah, there's nothing to confirm.
You think it will be sizable? Like, it will be a massive change to Tesla's business, like business fundamentals after the review?
If it did work out lah.
Because I
if it
think
did work out lah,
okay,
but
yeah, because I think there's a slight difference, right, when you compare things like GPT and Sora, that image to text, to video, because those don't need to be perfect. And in fact, Sora, even though it looks realistic, there are some, like the hands and everything, when they churn out the image, is quite bad. Like sometimes can have 6-7 fingers. But I think for FSD, when you really want to offer it as a service, there's a slight concern when you talk about like level 5, when you look at Waymo and stuff, they really need to be 100%. If not, they take legal ownership. But for Tesla, I'm not too sure. Like I think when Eric mentioned the current state, I'm not too sure whether they can do that quantumly in the next 4 months. But in that case, I don't know whether we can see that in implementation in such a short period of time.
so I just checked.
I'm not too sure what you think.
Waymo is actually level 4. BYD, I'm not so sure, but I suspect it should be around the same. So FSD, actually Tesla doesn't really have to reach level 5, right? They only have to reach just the same level as Waymo to start offering their services already, because Waymo is already a proven thing already. People are already taking Waymo as their taxi thing. And from the videos that I see, they don't have a driver for that also. Yeah, if you want to make it to release to the public, just release at the place where stuff are more predictable. Yeah, so to prove this concept. But anyway, Tesla has already proven that it has made driving a lot safer already.
Okay, so Boon Tee, what's your thoughts?
Yeah. Actually,
for 8th of August?
Yeah, I think when it comes to these robotaxi platforms, right? If you read the book, Walter Isaacson's books, right? Actually, he detailed it quite detailed what's going on behind the scene. They're basically building these 25,000 cars, and then initially Elon wanted it to be like a full Robo Taxi only, meaning that without the steering wheel, so the car just run itself, can fetch 5 people's. You don't need a steering wheel, right? And then I think the teams they think that they are not ready yet, so they say, okay, why not we build like on parallel basis? One is really for the Robo Taxi, the other one is like just a normal car, a cheaper version, 25k, should have the steering wheel. So I think what this news came out about, right, is that probably because maybe they are more confident now, they don't think that they need a cheaper car version, right? Meaning the version with the steering wheel, right? So they were just all into Robotaxi in this project, meaning that they don't have to run two parallel project, right? So I think that's definitely bullish in terms of the FSD capability. But in terms of what they were going to review, maybe they just review that, okay, new factory set up, probably it will take another 2 or 3 years. But basically, they just convey that communications. But when it comes to executions, we still don't know how long they will take, right? So probably still a few years down the road. That's what I think. Because like what Eric just mentioned, right? They in terms of the current versions of FSD beta, right? Also, they're still, it's not ready to be driven without humans supervisions, right? So they're still working on it now. But I would say that in terms of the capability, it has increased quite a lot since they deploy the neural network into their all this software, meaning that there's now lesser hard-coded codes inside. They're using neural network to actually lead the cars on how to drive, meaning that it will drive more and more like a human. I think this is definitely a good development.
So Boon Tee view this recent news as bullish and positive for the companies.
Development wise, I think
Progress.
definitely bullish. It's just that timeline wise, I usually don't like, I don't think 8th of August suddenly they would launch it and then the car will be on the road by next year. I don't think so. Just need to be realistic because these robotaxi platforms, right, is entire different platforms. It's not the one, it's not similar to, let's say, like Model 3 or Model Y, right? So they definitely need expansion, factory expansion, and all this will take years to build, right? So timeline wise, I'm not like bullish at all. I think they will need time.
So in fact, if that's the case, right, then what exactly is Reuters lying about when Elon Musk tweeted out?
The 25k cars, the ones with the steering wheel.
So
Maybe that is really cancelled. Yeah.
But Elon said he's lying, right? As in saying Reuters is lying, right? So what's
We don't know.
Reuters?
He didn't say which part, right? Because the article is also quite long, so there are many statements inside there. Which statements is he referring to? Also not clear, right?
Right.
Yeah, actually, I think there's truth in what Reuters is reporting because they've cited quite a few sources. Like it's just not one. I think it's at least 3-4 sources. So I think Elon is playing with words lah. They are lying. He didn't point to which part is lying. He's just saying not everything is right. Not everything is true. Is the truth lah. So I think that's what he's just saying. Yeah, he's obviously doing some damage control here. Yeah, I also agree with Boon Tee, just to add on, in case people say, oh, Kelvin is a Tesla toxic bull. I don't think, obviously, I'm very optimistic, but I have to cater in for the bad stuff, right? Otherwise, I would have started buying in heavily now already because of all this news. If I'm so optimistic, obviously I'm not, because Elon, being Elon, is just unpredictable. Or this Tesla, not the first time we heard about this kind of thing, right? Cybertruck was announced I think 4 or 5 years ago, right? Now they only started. So this FSD, yeah, you have to just cater in for the delays.
So am I right to say if he scrapes the entire 25,000 plan, which initially was, I think, it was built into many people's expectations, right? Like Tesla is going to offer this thing and then they're going to fight into the affordable market and then go in and then like destroy BYD and whatnot, because right now they're competing in the more lower tier market. So I would presume that if that's not the case, if the plans are readjusted, so when I look at the EV sales right now, looking at how in terms of market share, so I believe BYD overtook Tesla in Q4, and then Tesla overtook back again in Q1. But it seems like if Tesla doesn't want to fight or doesn't want to eat BYD lunch, BYD will probably still be dominating in the cheaper segment. So I just wanted to pivot over and ask Eric, right? Like, right now you see there's a, I mean, even for BYD, when you compare year on year, actually BYD was still increasing year on year, even though they actually shrunk quite a bit on a sequential basis because they started off from a lower base. So I just wanted to ask, is there a cause for concern? Like, do you think there is any, like, this whole EV transition slow down in taking up a big loan because of high interest, blah blah blah? Would it be impeding the entire mission and vision of Tesla?
No, actually, I think
Or even, are you even scared of it? Or you
No.
just think that it's just a blip and then we'll carry on? We'll just all go to the moon.
I think it's quite arrogant to call BYD a blip. BYD is they have very good battery production technology. So I think I really respect them for that. But is it a threat to Tesla? I think they are playing different games. Yeah, as far as I know, I don't think BYD is going after the autonomous Robo Taxi pie. That one is maybe under Baidu, Pony, and whatnot. Yeah, they are already experimenting. The last I see, right, from an article CNBC, they have 10 fully no drivers robo taxi operating at Beijing, a small city. So they started, I think, 2023, if I'm not mistaken from the article. So now it's 2024. They only have 10 fully driverless one. So they are really taking very baby steps to make sure that this thing won't cause too much accidents. Yeah. So far looking okay. Looking okay. There are some operators, smaller ones, that have accidents. So I think that's what worries the regulators. And I think if Tesla wants to start robotaxi, also have to go through the same kind of ups and downs. You have accidents, and then regulators come in and then they say, "Hey, what's going on? Why got accident?" Then they will tweak a bit, do software update, and they say, "Okay, try again, try again." Then after that, curtail them. Then after that, they say, "Oh, no, no, no accident now." Then after that, accident again. So it's it's like a ding dong back and forth lah. But I think the wheels of the technology will continue turning. If Tesla don't turn it right, I'm fairly confident China will overtake them in a big way. Yeah, so like with all other technology, if you don't move fast enough, China is gonna eat your lunch. So so I think US side, they also feel a bit pressured lah. I mean, if they don't let Tesla test out their FSD, however lousy it is, or for lack of a better word lah, then they have no chance at all. Because I don't think I know anyone else that is coming close to what Tesla is doing in the US. Only China side. So unless they want to be left behind, literally let China fly all the way, because it does take a few years to get the system up and running. Yeah, so I'm not worried if you ask me about like the competition BYD, because they are not playing the same game. I'm more concerned with the FSD part. If that one doesn't take off, right, then you have a 20,000 car also cannot save Tesla. I mean, it can still run as a company. It's vaguely profitable, but it won't be a growth company. It'll be just be a car company, which Adam Khoo has said again and again, it's just a car company. So if it really turns out it's a car company, then GG already lor.
So the entire thesis of your investment today is, if FSD is not solved,
Yeah,
Tesla is unable to fulfill their potential valuation line in this
yeah,
case.
yeah. They won't go bankrupt. I don't think they'll go bankrupt. It's just that the valuation will likely over time keep grinding lower and lower, because the FSD is not being fulfilled. So I think this unveiling also quite important. Like it's a line in the sand, kind of like Elon coming out. Okay, guys, this is going to happen. 4 or 5 years time, we're going to make it happen, and they do need that time. So if they can't even announce it in August, I don't know. It's going to be bad lah. I mean, sad for Kelvin and myself.
Kelvin, your thoughts?
I'm not that worried. Like, okay. Right now, Tesla has the, okay, it sounds very cliche. They are attracting the top talents, right? So I think it's the same theory that I said about Facebook a while back when they started going into what's that? The meta thing. So I say, like, okay, Facebook was throwing billions of dollars into their meta thing. Obviously, something has to come out of it, right? you can't just throw billions of dollars and to hire the people. I think I don't know, a few hundred of people, and nothing comes out of it, right? So money will eventually translate to something lah. So for Tesla, they're hiring all these talents. They are getting the best GPU chips from Nvidia, the best company in the world right now. So obviously something has to come out of it. Like you can't say like, okay, so much FSD. I think recently they broke how many, 1 billion miles, something like that. So all this has to translate to eventually something, right? So I'm not that worried right now lah. Yeah, unless yeah.
Meta's metaverse still cannot make it. Just saying. I mean, as a as a Meta shareholder lah, like there's really, even they throw tens of billions of dollars, right? It's really just bleeding cash. Like there is nothing coming out from that. I don't know whether they have the best people, because it seems like other people are also doing metaverse.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But for lor, so for yeah, I think Tesla is progressing nicely lah in the back end. Not that worried.
Actually, this part, I think I'm a bit worried because there was just this article on Wall Street Journal, I think a couple of days back, right? 4th of April.
They are here to spread fart.
No. Like Elon Musk boosts AI engineer pay in the craziest talent war. So there seems to be like in the article, I think I read it in the article, they say that they are like offering higher and higher, very insane pay packages, because in the whole world, right, like those really talented AI engineers, they are like few and far in between. They are kind of like 200 plus, a few hundred, 200 to 300 of them, and they are all fighting for these talents, So Meta is fighting with Google, fighting with Tesla, fighting with don't know who else whoever wants those AI engineers, they have to offer like higher and higher pay. So I don't know, like we can't really assume that Tesla has all the best engineer lah.
But then right now, because the unis are not training them out yet, so once they train them out, so it's basically supply and demand, no? Like how we buy stocks, right? When there's a lot of demand right now, but not a lot of stocks. Not stocks lah, but I use Bitcoin. Basically, there's a limited supply, right? That's why all these prices are being bidded up. But when universities are training AI graduates, which is every year kind of thing, so when the supply goes up, the pay will just adjust downwards, right? So it will normalize back.
I think the article qualifies itself by saying that the top AI talents that we're talking about are not fresh university grads. They are like, they have the ability to troubleshoot like those big AI models. So you really need people like that can debug the AI system. And these are probably not your fresh grads. So that's why they are in such high demand. So that's my concern when you start saying that Tesla maybe have the best people. Like, do they? Like maybe 2 years ago, okay, maybe, they are the most desirable AI company and all that. But nowadays, I think the shine is a bit off.
Eric is getting a bit shaky. But maybe if I quantify this in a number, from 1 to 100, 100 being very confident, right? Kelvin, can I fairly say that you're at least above a 90, that Tesla is able to solve FSD in the next, let's say within this decade?
This decade?
2030
yeah, above 90 yeah.
Above 90. Eric, what's the number?
I think this decade I'm also fairly confident. But I won't say above 90 maybe 80.
Okay, Boon Tee, let you finishing remarks. Also,
I'll say above 90, like if 10 years. But let's say 3 to 5 years, I'm skeptical. I think still need time to work out. I'll say this, right, on like this slowdown of EV. I do see that the sales is slowing down. We look at the Q1 numbers, it is facts, right? But if you ask like, okay, is the EV trajectory is going off, then suddenly people are going back to buying ICE vehicle instead of EV, right? I don't think so, right? Because, in terms of the product, the attractiveness, those who really bought EV already, they tried the accelerations, they are not going back to ICE vehicle, right? That's one. And then secondly, I think if you just observe the charging network, the convenience of having an EV, right? Or rather, you say that people used to have many reasons not to own an EV, but now all these reasons are becoming less and less relevant anymore. Charging network, charging stations are everywhere, right? So I do think that in terms of if you look at it over 1, 2, 3 years and ahead, right? I think in terms of the market, EV is still going to lead. I'm not saying that whether Tesla is better than BYD or not. I think this is really, these are competition within the EV industry. But if you look at all these companies, right, like EV versus ICE vehicles, they do have bright futures. I'm not worried in terms of their trajectory at all.
Would your underlying thesis on Tesla be also FSD? Meaning, if they can't solve, means this company's toast.
Not in the sense of EV need to convert to 100% autonomous driving and take out the steering wheel. I don't think so. I think even if they don't solve it, right, by having this software that can help you drive, make the driving experience like better and safer, I do think that this is still a selling point to the customers. I don't think it will kill the thesis. Yeah.
So you're saying that in a way, if they can run it parallel, meaning Tesla can still be a so-called car manufacturing company, yet at the same time, on the other hand, if they're able to achieve a certain level of success in FSD,
Yep.
and they're able to sell it as a subscription or as a software or whatnot, they will still be deserving of the valuation today. Not meaning everybody must be running it as a Robo Taxi business, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it. So hope you guys enjoyed the discussion from the three of them. Just note that the three of them are all biased because they all have Tesla position. But I think it's still a very good discussion to look at it from different points of view and to discuss some of this recent happening. Because I think there was one viewer that commented on Boon Tee's channel or Boon Tee's inner circle asking for Kelvin's opinion. Because right now it's very, very messy, the whole space. A lot of people suddenly turn into bears, and then bull turn to bear, don't know, become even more bear, and then say that Tesla is and then they're riding on this whole price action, then Tesla intraday reversal, and yeah, it's a whole lot of mess. And we hope that you're able to gain some insights and knowledge from the three of them. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.